Hey, it's Mr. Han here. Here are our notes on solving for x. So, everything we've done so far, you guys should feel comfortable with these expression maths, and we've been asking you which side is greater. So that's what we've been practicing till this point on. But from now, we're going to notice that there's a double line down the center of the expression mat. So right now I'm just reading my iPad. Okay, so the double line down the center of this expression mat represents the word equals. It is a wall that separates the left side of the equation from the right side. So I want you to notice right here, the double line. I'm talking about this right here. Okay, so this line, double line, or right here, this double line, okay, it's representing an equal sign. So prior to this, before this, I've been talking about which side is greater, and we weren't saying that they were equal. But now we're going to be saying which they're equal, right? And so this wall is going to separate them. What we're going to do is we're going to build the equation represented by the expression mat at right using algebra tiles. Simplify as much as possible and then solve for x. Be sure to record your work. So here, now the question is, what is the value of x? We're going to be simplifying until we get one x by itself. So right now I want you to learn that the goal, when I say solve for x, the goal for solve for x, I'm going to actually write this on the top. Goal, okay, to solve for x equals get 1x by itself. So we're going to be simplifying until there's a single x that's by itself. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look. Notice that there's an equal sign right here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. I'll highlight it in red. Okay, so right here we have an equal sign, and it's saying that the left side equals the right side. So let's start with the left side. What do you see? What do you see on the left side? And hopefully you're able to see that in positive land you have x, positive x, plus 1, minus 2. And do you remember what this portion of the equation mat is called? How do you represent it? Opposite land. How do you represent opposite land? The negative in parentheses. What's inside negative land? Negative 2x plus 1. Okay? And now we're going to say that that equals the right side, which says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 on positive land. 5. And to represent the bottom half, I'm going to go ahead and put a negative parentheses. What do we see in opposite line? Negative x plus 1. Alright? So now, instead of saying which side is greater, we're saying that they are equal. What I want you to do is practice the two lines going straight down the middle. Let's undo that, and let's draw another line. Oh, that's an eraser. Sorry. I'm going to grab my pencil again. Draw another line representing the two straight lines. I can't figure this out. Okay. Extend this all the way down. So what I'm doing right now, just in case you're not understanding, is I'm taking these two lines and I'm making it very similar to this. Do you see how there's two lines right here? You can't see it right here. There's the first line and the second line. So these two lines are representing an equal sign, so I'm basically doing the same thing. Taking these two lines and saying, hey, the left side equals the right side. Now I'm going to do everything that I know about simplifying. Okay, if you can't remember, there are three things you can do, right? Number 1, distribute. Number 1 we can distribute. Number 2 we can combine like terms. And number 3, remove equal values. So those are the 3 things we can do that we know. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flip, which is the same thing as distributing. Okay, I'm just going to distribute over here. So I have on the left side x plus 1 minus 2, and the opposite of negative 2x is plus 2x, and the opposite of plus 1 is minus 1. So that's the left side. On the right, we have 5. Opposite x is plus x, and the opposite of plus 1 is minus 1. Alright. So we went ahead and flipped from opposite land. I want you guys to go ahead and take a second and flip from opposite land. Flip from opposite land. So all these negatives will become positives. We'll highlight those in. And then these positive unit tiles are going to become negative unit tiles. So let's go ahead and move them up. Same thing here. Squeeze them in. Alright. So that's the first thing we did. We distributed. Now we'll copy that up here. So what I'm actually going to do, last time I didn't do this, but I'm going to go ahead and copy all the things that aren't drawn so that I can duplicate it. So I'm going to make sure I fill that one in. On this side, what do I still have? I'm basically copying everything that's in positive land. Remember when we flipped them over, these are no longer there. Okay, so now this is the reason why I did that right now, is so that I can duplicate that and just move it down here. So now that I flipped, this is what I should have on the top. Okay, the next thing we would do is we would combine like terms. So I'm gonna go ahead and highlight x plus 2x, and over here we have just x, and then the unit tiles plus 1 minus 2 minus 1, 5 minus 1. Let's go ahead and combine like terms. X plus 2x is 3x, plus 1 minus 1 negative 1, minus 1 is negative 2. Over here we have x, and 5 minus 1 is plus 4. Okay, so once we combine like terms, that's the same thing as creating zeros. I'm going to go ahead and create zeros. We should be able to duplicate the remaining portions. So notice I did not grab the zeros, the 0 pairs. And now that I created my 0 pairs, I'm going to remove equal values. So right here, I'm going to remove x's from both sides. So we get 2x minus 2 equals 4. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take away the x values from both sides. So I should get 2x minus 2 equals 4. So that's what I ended up with. And now this is what's new. Alright, this is what's new. We're going to go ahead and get x by itself. So this is where we can say, alright, we're going to get this value onto the other side. So we're going to take the opposite of minus 2. Now, because these two sides are equal, alright, the way I can get rid of something is to do the inverse. And the inverse means the opposite. So I want you to take a guess. What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction, right? And what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So right here, we can take these inverse operations, addition, subtraction, subtraction, addition, those are inverse, okay? And then multiplication, division, division, multiplication, those are inverse. So I'm going to go ahead and do everything I can to get x by itself. And in 7th grade, you should have done some two-step equations. So this isn't brand new to you. But I'm going to go ahead and say, remember, my goal here is to get 1x by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 to both sides. If I do one thing to one side, I have to do it to the other. So here I'm going to show you a little example. Right now I have 2 AAA batteries. One in my left hand, I don't know what it is on the screen, but in this hand, and then 1 battery in the other hand. So right now I have 1 and 1. What can you say about these 2 values, right? In my left hand and my right hand, 1 and 1, they are equal. So I have an equal value here, so I can say that they're equal to each other. Well, here's a question. If I decide to add 1, I'll add 1 to this hand, so now I have 2. What do I have to do to the other hand, right? I have to add 1. So the concept, okay, is when they're equal, now they're equal, right? What if I took 2 away from one side? Right? I have to take 2 away from the other. Now they're equal. So the concept here is, if I do something to one side, I have to do it to the other. So if I say plus 2 to get rid of this right here, the inverse operation, 2x equals, I have to do plus 2 on the other side. So 4 plus 2 is 6. And now we have 2x equals 6. The opposite right here says 2 times x. I need to divide by 2. And x equals 3. And so this is an introduction to solving. You guys have seen equations like 2x equals 6. Okay. Okay, so far we have, the first thing we did was distribute from opposite line, or flip from opposite line, and then we combine like terms. Combined like terms. And then the third thing we did was what was it? Oh, remove equal values. So we were able to get x by itself. Here, let's go ahead and build this equation right here. So we have, I'll read this. Build the equation 2x minus 5 equals negative 1 plus 5x plus 2. Using your tiles by placing 2x minus 5 on the left side and negative 1 plus 5x plus 2 on the right side. Then simplify this equation as much as possible so that x is alone on one side of the equation. Solve for x. So we'll go ahead and draw this on the left side. I'm going to put 2x values, so 2x tiles. I'm going to use pink, just because that's how I've been doing it. 2 positive x tiles, and minus 5, so I'm going to leave 5 blank. And I'll shade these in. 2x minus 5, and then on the right, I have negative 1 plus 5x. And then plus 2. So then you shade the 5x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x. And then plus 2. Notice that there is no opposite land here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and write the equation as well. 2x minus 5 equals negative 1 plus 5x plus 2. Alright, the first thing we're going to do, because there is no opposite land, is create zeros. So there's only 1 0 I could see right here. And the same concept here is combine like terms. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. There's nothing on the left we can combine. 2x and minus 5, we can't do anything. So I'm just going to leave that there. On the right, we could go 5x. We can combine. Oh, it's purple. Negative 1 and positive 2. So we have 2x minus 5 equals. And remember the equal sign is 2 lines down the middle. So 2x minus 5 equals 5x. And 2 minus 1 is plus 1. 5x plus 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. Delete my 0. Now what can I do? I could take out equal values. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out, take this out, take this out, take this out. So I should have minus 2x, minus 2x. We have negative 5 equals 3x plus 1. And you can see negative 5 is left on this side. Oops. Negative 5 is left on this side. And then 3x plus 1 is left on this side. Now, from here, we want to get x by itself. So the inverse, the opposite of plus 1 is minus 1. Remember, our goal here is to get x by itself. So we're going to do everything we can to get x by itself. Oops, sorry, it's negative 6 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3. And x equals negative 2. Remove equal values. Alright, so here is our introduction to solving for x. We'll do some practice problems together. But good luck.